Now at 6 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a Victoria man sentenced to prison for sexual assault of a child.
A San Antonio City Councilman turns himself in for drunk driving after crashing and fleeing the scene.
And voters head to the polls this Saturday to decide on a $10 million bond for Victoria College.
I think we're going to be okay for the weekend as we get into Cinco de Mayo. However, out in West Texas, big storms are popping. We just want to make sure they stay over there. We'll have you latest on the weather coming up.
And the athlete of the week is a strikeout queen in the circle. We hear from her in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia. A Victoria County jury made up of 8 women and 4 men took less than an hour before finding Pedro Cantu Jr. guilty of aggravated sexual assault of a child. The victim, now 19 years old, came forward after Cantu sexually abused them sometime in October of 2009. Cantu was sentenced to 50 years in prison and will have to serve half of the sentence before he's eligible for parole.
Victoria police take 2 people into custody. Wednesday night, Victoria PD arrested 25-year-old Bruce Bess after a report of a man breaking into a vehicle in the 600 block of East Crestwood Drive. Bess facing 2 charges. Thursday morning, 19-year-old Lane Hayes taken into custody after a high-speed chase ending in the 100 block of Palmwood Drive. Hayes charged with evading arrest. Hallettsville police helping the DPS and other agencies with a major vehicle crash on U.S. Highway 77 North at FM 532 north of Hallettsville. The roadway shut down, authorities asking drivers to find alternate routes. Election Day is this Saturday, May 6th. There are 4 candidates running for 2 Victoria ISD Board of Trustees seats. First elected to the Victoria ISD Board in 2005, Tammy Keeling was president of the board for 8 years. Her opponent, Rick Jones, is now a retired engineer. Jones has lived in Victoria for more than 22 years and plans to focus on curriculum if elected.
In the race for Victoria ISD Trustee District 3, Brett Baldwin, the incumbent, faces BJ Nelson. Baldwin is running for his 3rd term on the Victoria ISD board. He says safety and security are his top issues. Nelson is running for public office for the first time. She says the Victoria ISD needs to get back to the basics of education. Now also on this ballot, a $10 million bond issue for Victoria College. It would fund a $36.5 million Student Success Center. How does this impact your local voter? Well, you see a homeowner with a $100,000 home would see a $2.10 tax rate increase for 3 years. The rate would go down $5.80 in 2027 due to paid off bond debt. There is no tax rate increase for homeowners over the age of 65 or residents with disabilities who have filed for exemption. Now, don't forget, join us for election coverage this Saturday, May 6th. Voters can choose from 36 different polling locations in Victoria Saturday. The polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
In early voting, there were 2,510 votes. That's 4.5% of all registered voters in Victoria County. There are 55,107 registered voters in Victoria County. Here's your viewer poll this evening. Who do you plan to vote for in the Victoria ISD District 3 race? Incumbent Brett Baldwin, BJ Nelson, or Not My District? Let's look at the numbers. 13% voting for the incumbent Brett Baldwin. 19% voting for BJ Nelson, Not My District 68%. We thank you for voting. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. We'll have an update on what you and your neighbors are saying on 25 News Now at 10.
Now let's take a quick pause from all this voting election stuff and look at the forecast with meteorologist Mac Bettis.
Thank you very much, Cuddy. Now, folks, we have, of course, the cloud cover out there, and you know, the cloud cover has some advantage. It keeps the temperature down. If it were to break out, the temperatures would really rise dramatically. Right now, we're at 80 degrees, southeast winds at 13. By the time we get to the weekend, though, I do think we'll see a little bit of cloud cover, a little break in the cloud cover, and that's going to push us to about 90 degrees. But we'll be talking about that and the West Texas storms as well coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. San Antonio District 10 Councilman Clayton Perry turned himself into local law enforcement the same day a warrant was issued for an alleged hit-and-run accident.
The councilman drank more than 14 alcoholic beverages and professed his love for a teenage drive-through cashier.
Do you know what we're speaking about?
It's about that really drunk guy.
2 days after Clayton Perry came through this Bill Miller drive-thru ahead of a hit-and-run crash on November 6th, the 17-year-old cashier remembered the 67-year-old councilman well while talking with a San Antonio police detective.
Like, his window was all the way down. Both his arms were out the window. And all of a sudden, he just kept on saying, "I love you. I'm here just to see you."
The teen says Perry's eyes were halfway open and she could smell the booze on his breath. Despite not having ordered food, she and her manager say Perry tried to take the order for the car behind him.
Whenever I asked him for his payment method, he was giving me his keys. He was showing me his ID and trying to give me his wallet.
Just before his trip to Bill Miller, police say Perry was at a bar across the street, where by SAPD's count, security cameras show him downing more than 14 drinks over about 4 hours. A mixture of beers, shots, and mixed drinks. The detective calculated Perry's blood alcohol content to be over 3 times the legal limit. Perry's attorney said in court the councilman actually had about half what police claim, and he contended Perry's behavior on police body camera from after the crash could be explained by having suffered a concussion.
There's a lot of acorns living here.
Though prosecutors contend his earlier actions showed Perry should not have been behind the wheel, a view shared by the Bill Miller barbecue manager, who called 911 as Perry left.
It wasn't safe for him to be driving, and I was really concerned about if he would get into an accident, him getting hurt or him hurting another person.
Perry ultimately pleaded no contest last month to misdemeanor charges for failure to stop and give information and DWI. A judge gave Perry a type of probation that allows him to avoid a conviction. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
There will be no retrial for Daniel Perry, convicted of killing a Black Lives Matter protester in Austin, Texas. A jury found him guilty of murder last week for shooting and killing Garrett Foster in the summer of 2020. He was acquitted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Perry's legal team says their motion for retrial included allegations of jury misconduct, stating that outside influence impacted the outcome of this trial. But a judge said there was no violation because the jury deliberated for 17 hours over the course of 2 days. The prosecution argued that Perry provoked the incident when he drove up to protesters. His sentencing is set for May 9th.
Chicago residents working to provide food and clothing for migrants as politicians argue over the border crisis. The near West Side Police District now home for the recent arrival of migrants with parents and families sleeping on the floors. Most are Venezuelans, and thousands of migrants in Chicago were sent there by Governor Greg Abbott. GOP House members introduced a bill Tuesday calling for tighter enforcement.
And now also on this border issue, a large group of migrants are encamped near the border in Matamoros, Mexico, hoping to cross into the United States. This was the scene yesterday as migrants used ropes and inflatable rafts to cross the Rio Grande River to reach Brownsville, Texas. Mexican officials were on scene trying to discourage the migrants from crossing. A surge of border crossing is expected next week when Title 42, a COVID-era policy that allowed officials to deny entry to migrants due to public concerns, ends.
U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas will travel to the Texas border ahead of the lifting of Title 42. The Biden administration preparing for a spike in illegal border crossings. In preparation, unarmed active duty troops will be present at the southern border.
That's right. The troops will not use force or make arrests, but will instead support Border Patrol as needed. While at the border, Mayorkas will review border law enforcement's Title 42 response plans.
Law enforcement officials in Central Texas sending a strong message to fentanyl drug dealers yesterday. Investigators arrested 18-year-old Jaquel Deshawn Ray back on April 11th in connection to the fentanyl overdose death of a 15-year-old boy from Kyle. Investigators say they found out Ray sold a fentanyl-laced pill to the teen. During a news conference, Hays County District Attorney Kelly Higgins said the county filed an additional charge of felony murder in the case.
Where we can make that connection and where we believe we can make it beyond a reasonable doubt, we're going to pursue felony murder charges in cases like this.
Authorities say Ray's bond set at $100,000 for the delivery charge and $300,000 for the murder charge.
ProPublica reports GOP mega donor Harlan Crow from Dallas paid $6,200 in private school tuition for Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas' grandnephew. This amount was paid to an academy in Georgia in 2009. Crow's team didn't confirm or deny the payments, but said he sometimes supported the education of at-risk youth. ProPublica says Thomas didn't know to report luxury trips Crow subsidized, but he did report tuition assistance a friend provided for Martin in 2002. Democrats want an investigation, but Senator John Cornyn says it should be left to the higher courts. Victoria County Animal Services says a second skunk found in the Mission Oaks neighborhood has tested positive for rabies. They're asking the community to report any wildlife issues in the Mission Valley area. Look for any animals acting strange or out of character. This includes hurt or sick animals. Residents should update their pets' rabies vaccines.
Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 6. The final inmate who escaped from a Mississippi prison now captured.
Also ahead, 4 members of the Proud Boys found guilty of seditious conspiracy.
The biggest Jeopardy event ever is in prime time. Monday, 6 all-time greats.
What is grit?
Who's Caro?
What is Mean Girls?
One incredible tournament.
Oh,
I think you should get this checked out.
bring it.
Who will be crowned the first ever Jeopardy Masters champion? If we have any more games like that, I don't know if my heart is going to hold out.
Jeopardy Masters primetime event starts Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Hello, this is Charlie Minnie with Buddy Tolliver RV in Victoria, Texas. We are so proud to be Keystone's exclusive RV dealer here in the Crossroads with fifth wheels, travel trailers, toy haulers, sales, service. We have it. Everything you can imagine in RVs, we have it here to offer at Buddy Tolliver RV. Visit us online at TolliverRV.com. That's TolliverRV.com. Or come by and visit 6204 Highway 59 North in Victoria, Texas, where our motto is, home is where you park it.
Victory GMC is the favorite in the Crossroads because our staff has years of experience and they know how to make their customers smile.
Walter Dixon, 32 years.
Linda Briggs, 38 years.
Jose Garza, 24 years.
Jake Hargis, 23 years.
Houston Polygar, 3 years.
Come let the right people give you a world-class buying experience. We think you'll call it victory.
The final inmate who escaped from a Mississippi prison last month now captured. Corey Harrison and a woman with him arrested at a Mississippi home this morning. Harrison and 3 others escaped from the Raymond Detention Center. Jerry Raines was arrested in Texas near Houston last week. Casey Grayson's body found in a vehicle at a New Orleans truck stop, and Dylan Arrington's remains found in a burned home after a standoff with police. Arrington shot and killed a pastor while on the run.
A historic verdict reached today in the seditious conspiracy trial against 5 members of the Proud Boys.
It's surrounding their actions leading up to and on the day of the deadly January 6th U.S. Capitol attack.
4 members of the Proud Boys who are alleged to have leadership positions in the far-right extremist group found guilty of seditious conspiracy by a jury in Washington, D.C., more than 2 years after the deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol. Defendants Enrique Tarrio, the Proud Boys' longtime chairman, Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Real, and Dominic Pizzola faced a range of charges for their roles to forcibly prevent the peaceful transfer of power from then-President Donald Trump to Joe Biden after the 2020 election. All 5 defendants found guilty of obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to prevent an officer from discharging any duties, obstruction of law enforcement during civil disorder, and destruction of government property and aiding and abetting.
This is sending the signal that there are serious consequences to domestic groups that decide to interfere with the workings of democracy.
Prosecutors playing the jury this moment from a presidential debate.
Stand back and stand by, but I'll tell you what, somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left.
The defense arguing it was Donald Trump who caused what occurred on January 6th, and that Tarrio, who wasn't at the Capitol that day because he had been arrested, was a scapegoat. Prosecutors saying that after the insurrection, Tarrio posted to social media, quote, "Make no mistake, we did this." I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Alrighty, grab your cell phone and scan this QR code. This is our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can get breaking news alerts and vote in our viewer polls, get the latest news, weather, and sports, and learn all about our ongoing contest right there on the app. You can also submit news tips, videos, and photos. Here's Mac.
Thank you very much. We're looking at a little bit of cloud cover, but you know that has some advantages. It keeps the temperature from really getting crazy. We got up to about 84 this afternoon. We'll probably see the 90s over the weekend, and we'll talk about your weekend forecast coming up in just a moment, so stay tuned.
For one final weekend, shop Lax Furniture's spring clearance sale. Save up to 80% and find super values throughout the store. Plus, get no interest financing. Lax spring clearance sale. It all ends Monday. Better hurry.
Navarro Small Animal Clinic provides exceptional veterinary care in the Crossroads with complete veterinary services for your pet's wellness, including ultrasound, digital x-rays, and in-house laboratory. Navarro Small Animal Clinic, serving Victoria and surrounding communities with comprehensive veterinary care. Our goal is to provide complete care for your pets. Dr. Shayna Boak and her staff at Navarro Small Animal Clinic welcomes your pets Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. at 5009 Country Club Drive.
When you don't keep your eyes on what you're doing, it can be downright dangerous to you and others, especially when you're behind the wheel. Put your phone down. Heads up, Texas.
Are you a new AT&T customer looking to upgrade your phone? You're trapped, locked into your contract for 3 years. And your phone is locked into their network too. No 2-year upgrade for you, Jonathan. But T-Mobile has a way out. Introducing the Easy Unlock. Bring your AT&T locked phone and T-Mobile will pay it off and give you one of the latest 5G smartphones free. Plus, next time you're ready for an upgrade a year earlier. You're free now, little one. So are you. Just so we're clear, I did trip on purpose for comedy.
Free your phone now at T-Mobile.
I need an emoji to reflect the woman like me. So how about this emoji? It's Friday, and we're all new with the Isley Brothers.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. 80 degrees right about now. The wind's gently out of the southeast at about 10, 15 miles an hour, and that's pretty good. You know, the breeze is good when it's moving, because when there's no breeze, it's just hot and humid. The cloud deck sort of helped out. I was driving around Riverside Park, and I saw the golfers really having a good time because there was this overcast, and it wasn't 95 degrees, so that sort of helps out. As we get to the weekend, of course, there's a lot of outdoor activities because of Cinco de Mayo, and I know in Goliad they've got a big thing for Ignacio Zaragoza, so I think we're going to be in good shape. But the thing I'm concerned with, and you don't have to worry about it, I'm watching it, is that we've got the cloud cover here, but the upper winds are popping big storms out in West Texas. And if they get going, they get really steamed up, they might move in our direction. So I just want to make sure they stay out in that area. Right about now, we see a line coming from Wichita Falls all the way down to Del Rio, where the storms are popping. And generally, what happens is that once the sun goes down, they lose their energy and they collapse. Well, that's what usually happens. But sometimes it doesn't, because I know I've been caught by these storms before. We have a tornado watch for the area right at about Wichita Falls. And then as you go south, because of the storms that are firing right now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, we're not included, but here's what happens. If these things get going, they become their own energy field. In other words, they become a mesoscale cyclone, okay? And they travel farther and farther east. And sometimes, you know, when I worked in San Antonio, we would get caught by these things because we'd look outside and it was as clear as a bell. And then these storms roll in from the west. So that's the pattern that we are in right now. And severe weather is possible tonight in that area. And we're way out here just on the edge of it. Now tomorrow, it's kind of the same thing. We're on the edge of it, but the big stuff is going to occur out west of us. But again, you saw how the winds are just taking them to the east. And so we've got to watch out for that. You don't have to worry about it. Make sure you have Crossroads Today on your phone, and I'll tweet you or whatever. What is it? We send a little birdie note or something. What is that? tweet or a Twitter or what something.
Burning.
Just to let you know what's going on here.
The word you're looking for is notification, Mac.
Yeah, a notification.
There you go.
That's what we're going to send you to let you. And I know which button to push over there. I go, boop, and it goes everywhere. It's
exactly.
amazing. Yeah. Anyway, watch the dry line. This is the division between the humid air of Texas and the very dry air out there. Notice that all of a sudden things are quiet on Friday, but watch this. While it's clear and dry out there, then boom, a big line of storms rolls out of that one, and this one looks like it's aimed toward East Texas. But as we go all the way to Saturday, watch this. There another one rolls in. So as this stuff fires along that line, it could get close enough to our area that we may see something around here. But let's not worry about it. Let's just get ready for all of the festivities out there this weekend. 72 tonight, cloudy with a little bit more humidity in the atmosphere. You know, a couple of nights ago it was really nice at night in the 50s. So obviously we're going to start feeling that humidity. About 90 for tomorrow, clouds in the morning, a little bit of break in the cloud deck, and then 20% chance of nothing serious. And then as we get into the next 7 days, you can see we're going to stay hovering at around the 90-degree mark. That is your 7-day forecast, reminding you this is what we were talking about. First, you got to scan what's called a QR code, and then you can download. Man, I sound like a modern person now. You can download Crossroads Today to your phone, and then we can tweet you or give you a notification of any weather changing. Karina, help me out here.
Oh, first off, Mac, great sound effects. Really enjoyed those.
That's right.
Boom, pow.
Well, Mac, you got it down, but now let's go to sports with Gina Perez.
Thanks, Karina. Multiple athletes are heading to state thanks to their performance at regionals. That's coming up after the break.
Hi folks, Cool Dave here with a reminder that the best way to start your day is with a good hearty breakfast. Grandy's has you covered. Fresh scrambled eggs, oven cooked bacon, hash browns, a made fresh biscuit, country sausage gravy, and it's simply the best. Just like your grandma made it. But Grandy's breakfast comes without the dishes she'd make you wash. So start your day with breakfast at Grandy's and toss those dirty dishes. Grandy's on Navarro near Mockingbird in Victoria.
You can enjoy endless entertainment and local news updates for free on our 17 over-the-air channels. Connect your TV antenna to your smart TV in 3 easy steps. Connect the coaxial cable from your antenna to the back of your TV. Select the menu button on your remote and navigate to the correct input of your antenna. Find the channel scan option and click it. Setting up your antenna will keep you entertained and informed with the latest weather updates and emergency information for free. Call or email for questions or more information. Stay connected and stay safe.
If I have a plumbing problem, I hire a plumber.
If I have electrical issues, I call an electrician.
If you've been injured in a car or truck wreck, you may need to call a lawyer.
When you call Cole, Easley, and Skiba, we will answer your questions.
If you hire us, we'll work hard to get your case settled.
If needed, we can file a lawsuit and take your case to trial.
Give us a call. We've been doing this for a while.
The Victoria Television Group is proud to honor our veterans, and we need your entries. Each month, we'll acknowledge a new veteran to salute. To submit, go to the Military Hero page on CrossroadsToday.com and help us recognize the deserving servicemen and women in our community.
When you don't keep your eyes on what you're doing, it can be downright dangerous to you and others, especially when you're behind the wheel. Put your phone down. Heads up, Texas.
Patty Crossroads, your athlete of the week comes from Ganado. She is elite in the circle and in the batter's box. Sports reporter Zach Brown has more.
The Ganado Maidens just rolled straight through its first opponent in the postseason, and the star of that game was senior Macy Kalachny, who not only pitched a complete game, but registered 12 strikeouts in the process. The senior is their ace pitcher, who will be called upon again for Game 1 against Three Rivers. She's a leader by example.
Just like being a leader out there on the field and doing my job by hitting my spots, you know, just like picking up teammates when they make an error, like that's like the responsibility I sort of feel.
The one run she allowed in the bottom of the first inning, she was lights out from that point on. The girls had a huge lead late, and Macy came to the plate with the bases loaded and helped her own cause. This grand slam made it 12-1. It was her first homer of the year, and she says it felt good just knowing there was no way they'd lose after that. But her focus isn't on last game's success. The girls have already moved on and are preparing for Three Rivers.
I feel pretty good and I feel confident. They work really hard. They hate to lose. So whenever their back's against the wall, you'll see the most out of these girls. So it's a special group for sure.
Everyone expects us to go far, and so we're just working hard, taking each round at a time to hopefully make it farther than we did last year.
They are currently ranked 9th in the state in Class 2A, and for the Thursday showdown, they have the luxury of getting Game 1 of the series at home.
It feels amazing, you know, because our community is very small, but it's so supportive, and you really see how supportive it is when the whole outfield is filled with cars and people.
Macy plans to attend the University of Texas and eventually law school, but the only judges that matter right now are the ones on the softball diamond. Lights out pitching and the grand slam to cap off a huge win is why Macy Kalachny is your 25 Sports Now Athlete of the Week.
And game 1 is going on right now, and here's a live look of the playoff game where Kalachny is pitching currently. The score is 1-0 with Ganado in the lead. This is the top of the second inning, and we will have updates and highlights tonight at 10. The Faith Academy track team traveled up to San Marcos to compete in the regional track meet, and many athletes are bringing home medals. The top performer for the girls team was Cammie Stafford, who finished in the top 5 in all 5 of her events, including first in the 100-meter dash, second in the long jump, third in the high jump, fourth in the 200-meter dash, and fourth in the 4x200-meter relay. The girls 4x100, 200, and 400-meter relay teams finished in the top 4 and qualified for state. Suvan Gendrich took third in shot put, and on the boys' side, Ty Staff won the silver medal in shot put. Great job, track and field competitors, that is. Well, that's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Gino. We're back in a moment. Now, I don't need to remind you fans out there that today is Star Wars Day. We commemorate these classic movies straight ahead.
Have a legal question that you don't have the answer to? Crossroads Law is here to help. The esteemed lawyers of the Cole, Easley & Skiba law firm are here to answer them. Submit your questions to crossroadstoday.com. This is a free service where you can find practical answers about real-life situations you might have encountered. Crossroads Law is a service of the Victoria Television Group and the law firm of Cole, Easley & Skiba, advocates of trial by jury.
Tired of your typical clock in, clock out job? You need a rewarding career in an entertaining environment that you'll enjoy. Take yourself out of the box and come to the Victoria Television Group. We have an active, fun, creative atmosphere that can help you succeed and keep those everyday work blues away. Come join our energetic and outgoing sales team. Renew your career and learn to use skills you didn't know you had. Call us 361-575-2500 or email opportunity@victoriatelevision.com for more information.
My name's Danny, and I absolutely love my F-150. I bought this particular truck because of the Blue Cruise. You literally let go of your hands. It just centers the car in the lane, follows the person in front of me, keeps a safe distance. In my experience, the Ford F-150 is the best in Texas.
Lease F-150 for $499 a month or choose 0% financing. Both include up to 1,000 toward accessories and complimentary maintenance.
Ford is the best in Texas.
American Idol's Ryan Seacrest. To celebrate Idol turning 21, you posted this photo of your 21st birthday. Look at those highlights.
You go and you sit with foil.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is all natural. Plus, Idol winner Taylor Hicks. And the stars of Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story. Next, Kelly.
And finally tonight, Thursday, is Star Wars Day. It falls on May 4th every year. If you're wondering why, say these words out loud. May the 4th be with you. Okay, so what's the best way to celebrate one of the most well-loved movie franchises in history? You can start by grabbing some popcorn and binge the many Star Wars films that have been produced or the TV and streaming spin-offs. You could also take a moment to remember the late actress Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia. Fisher died in 2016 at the age of 60. And oh, by the way, today, Carrie Fisher got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in a special ceremony. Today. But my question is this: if today is May the 4th, isn't Saturday then May Revenge of the Sith?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the,
I think that's
the game.
Tomorrow
Little...
is the Cinco de Mayo, and
Well,
then
yes.
it's Sixth Revenge of the Sith. Oh. Look. Luke, I am your father.
Alrighty, well, Matt, give us our weather because we could goof off all day if we need.
Luke, here is your
Oh,
weather.
there he goes.
No, yes, folks, we've got some cloudy skies, and that's actually good. It's going to keep the temperature down. When the cloud deck does break, it'll pop up to about 90 degrees the next few days. Now, that 20% that you see next week, that's not a big thing. That is basically just a lot of humidity and a few light showers in the morning. So no significant rain events to block or mess up anything that's happening this weekend.
That sounds great, Mag. Thank you, and thanks for joining us. We're streaming 24/7 Crossroads Today Plus.
That's right, and we hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.